the manifestation that transcended the frequency of wealth. There is a sacred point in every seeker's journey, the moment when the pursuit of wealth stops being a chase and becomes a natural emergence from within. Earl Nightingale described this as the moment when the mind awakens to its creative power, while Bob Proctor taught that this awakening is nothing less than the spiritual alignment of thought and vibration. It is here, in the fusion of mental clarity and divine energy, that manifestation transcends the physical plane and enters the realm of effortless creation. To transcend the frequency of wealth means to move beyond the illusion that money is something to be pursued. Instead, you begin to understand that money is drawn to you by who you are being, not by what you do. Your vibration is your magnet. Nightingale emphasized that every person is the sum total of their dominant thoughts. Proctor expanded this truth by explaining that your dominant vibration, your emotional tone, shapes the invisible field that responds to you. Most people misunderstand wealth because they view it through the lens of effort, not energy. They grind, they hustle, they chase, and in doing so, they affirm to the universe that wealth is something separate, something that must be earned. But in the higher realms of consciousness, effort is replaced by alignment. What you align with flows to you. What you resist flees from you. Imagine your mind as a transmitter broadcasting on a particular frequency. Every thought, every feeling sends a signal into the quantum field. The law of attraction doesn't decode your words. It interprets your frequency. You can say, "I want more money." But if your energy vibrates with fear, doubt, or lack, the universe simply echoes that back. It gives you more reasons to fear, more situations of doubt, more experiences of lack. To transcend the frequency of wealth is to stop asking for abundance and start embodying it. It's not about wanting money. It's about becoming prosperity itself. Earl Nightingale said, "We become what we think about most of the time." But Proctor took it further. We attract what we feel about most of the time. The marriage of these two truths forms the complete equation of manifestation. Thought gives direction, emotion gives energy, and spirit gives life to creation. When your thoughts and feelings are congruent with abundance, wealth can't help but appear. It's not magic, it's resonance. The universe is a mirror, not a judge. It reflects you precisely. If you vibrate as abundance, abundance mirrors itself through you. You start to notice coincidences that feel like divine choreography. New clients appear. Unexpected income flows in. Opportunities align as though unseen hands are guiding them. This isn't luck, it's law. Now, let's explore the deeper layer, the spiritual engine behind all material wealth. You are not a physical being trying to have a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being expressing through a physical body. You are consciousness wrapped in matter, and consciousness vibrates. Money, too, is energy, a symbol of exchange, flow, and appreciation. It circulates where energy circulates freely. That's why resentment, fear, and guilt about money block its flow. They create energetic knots in your vibration. When you feel unworthy of wealth, the universe mirrors that belief with scarcity. But when you recognize that abundance is your natural state, that the Creator designed you to expand, you dissolve resistance and flow returns. Proctor used to say, "You don't get rich by doing certain things. You get rich by doing things in a certain way." That certain way is vibrational alignment. It's the spiritual awareness that every action, thought, and feeling is a conversation with the infinite. The universe doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you're broadcasting on 92.3 FM, but you want to hear the music playing on 104.7, no amount of begging or struggling will make it happen. You must change your frequency. Likewise, you can't manifest wealth from a vibration of poverty or attract love from a vibration of loneliness. You must become what you seek, vibrationally, emotionally, spiritually, before it manifests physically. This is the spiritual science behind manifestation that both Nightingale and Proctor devoted their lives to teaching. Nightingale gave it structure through reason. Proctor gave it depth through spirit. Nightingale's strangest secret revealed the mental key. You become what you think about. Proctor revealed the energetic key. You attract what matches your frequency. When you merge the two, thought becomes divine power. To transcend the frequency of wealth, you must elevate your consciousness above material need and enter the vibration of spiritual sufficiency. This doesn't mean renouncing wealth. It means recognizing it as an effect, not a cause. The true cause of abundance is alignment with infinite intelligence. Let's go deeper into this alignment. Every morning, before you rise, your subconscious is open and receptive. In that sacred silence between waking and sleeping, your vibration is most easily tuned. This is where the masters of manifestation focus their intent. Nightingale suggested beginning each day by visualizing the life you desire as though it already exists, because in the infinite realm, it already does. Proctor added the emotional element. Feel it. Feel gratitude, joy, freedom, and wealth until it becomes real in your vibration. The universe doesn't distinguish between real and imagined. It responds to frequency. When you hold a vibration long enough, it solidifies into matter. Think of wealth as light passing through a prism. It takes shape according to the angles of your belief. When your beliefs distort the flow, wealth becomes scattered and inconsistent. But when your beliefs are clear, aligned, and filled with faith, the light of abundance passes through unobstructed, manifesting as prosperity, opportunity, and freedom. Faith is the currency of the higher realms. Doubt is the tax of the lower ones. Faith expands energy. Fear constricts it. When you operate from faith, your field opens. When you operate from fear, it collapses. This is why gratitude is such a powerful spiritual tool. Gratitude is not a reaction to abundance. It is the generator of abundance. When you feel grateful before something manifests, you pre-align your vibration with its frequency. The universe reads your gratitude as proof of belief and accelerates the manifestation process. In transcending wealth, you begin to understand something even more profound. The real purpose of riches is expansion of spirit. Money is simply energy that allows you to express more of who you truly are. When you are aligned with your higher self, money flows as a natural companion, not as a master, but as a servant of your purpose. Earl Nightingale once said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." Notice that he didn't define success as money, but as realization, bringing an ideal from the invisible to the visible. That's manifestation. The invisible world of spirit expresses itself through your mind into the physical world of matter. When your ideal is noble, expansive, and aligned with love, the universe supports it with resources, people, and synchronicities. The transcendent wealth that both men spoke of is not measured in dollars. It's measured in vibrational integrity. The more you align your inner world with truth, love, and purpose, the more your outer world harmonizes into abundance. Bob Proctor summarized it perfectly. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. That's the entire secret distilled into one line. To transcend the frequency of wealth, you must become wealth itself. You must think richly, speak richly, act richly, not in arrogance, but in divine assurance that abundance is your birthright. True manifestation is not forcing results. It's surrendering resistance. It's releasing the need to control the how and when, and trusting the law to handle the orchestration. Nightingale and Proctor both lived this truth. They didn't chase success. They radiated it. And by doing so, they became living proof of their own teachings. As you elevate your vibration, your environment begins to shift. You notice that your old fears no longer have power. Opportunities feel magnetically drawn to you. People perceive something luminous in your presence. That's because wealth is not just an outcome. It's a field of consciousness that you inhabit. And once you live within that field, you can never return to the vibration of lack. You have transcended. And in that transcendence, you finally understand what Nightingale meant by the strangest secret and what Proctor called the spiritual law of increase. It was never about getting more. It was always about becoming more. When you become more in consciousness, everything outside of you must expand to match the new frequency within. That is the divine mathematics of manifestation. That is the wealth that transcends. There is a point where your vibration becomes so stable, so attuned to abundance, that reality bends to accommodate your frequency. The shift is subtle at first. A sense of ease replaces urgency. Opportunities appear without effort. Synchronicities multiply. You start realizing that what you once called luck is simply alignment expressing itself. Earl Nightingale often said that success is the result of a clearly defined purpose. But there's a deeper layer most people overlook. That purpose is not only mental, it's energetic. It's not just what you aim for, but what you emanate. Bob Proctor used to remind his audiences that energy flows to and through you. You are not merely a participant in the energetic field. You are the field individualized. When you realize this, you stop trying to attract and start allowing. Attraction implies distance, something you must pull toward yourself. Allowing recognizes unity. Everything is already within your reach. The process of manifestation, then, is not creating something new, but revealing what already exists in potential. Just as a radio signal is always present in the air, waiting for you to tune into it, wealth already exists in the infinite field of vibration. You do not create abundance. You tune to its station. Imagine walking through a crowded room filled with noise. Everyone is talking, laughing, moving, and yet, across the room, someone calls your name softly. You hear it instantly, because your brain is wired to recognize that frequency. The universe works the same way. The moment you vibrate with clarity and purpose, creation recognizes you. It responds. When you hold a clear, elevated vibration for long enough, the external world reorganizes itself. This is the true meaning of what Proctor called paradigm shift. A paradigm is simply your habitual vibration, the energetic pattern your subconscious transmits continuously. To transcend your current level of wealth, you must transcend your paradigm. Your subconscious is like fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant repeatedly through thought and emotion will grow. Nightingale called this the strangest secret, because so few people realize they are always planting seeds, even when they complain, worry, or doubt. Every moment, you are programming your inner frequency. So, the question becomes, what frequency are you feeding? If your inner dialogue is filled with phrases like, "I can't afford that," "money is hard to come by," or "rich people are greedy," you are reinforcing a vibration of separation. The universe doesn't judge your beliefs. It simply mirrors them. Change the internal dialogue, and the mirror changes. Let's practice this shift. Imagine yourself already abundant, not someday, now. Feel the relief of financial freedom, the peace of knowing you can give freely, help others, live joyfully. Hold that image until your body begins to respond. The human body is a magnetic instrument. When you feel abundance, your nervous system transmits it. Every cell becomes a tiny transmitter of prosperity. The vibration of gratitude enhances this effect tenfold. Gratitude is the energetic bridge between spirit and matter. When you express gratitude in advance, you tell the universe, "I already have it." And the universe, bound by law, must align the outer world to match your inner acknowledgement. This is why Proctor always insisted that feeling is the secret. He borrowed this phrase from Neville Goddard, another spiritual master of manifestation. It's not enough to think positively. You must feel richly. Your feeling is the language the universe understands. Earl Nightingale brought logic to this truth. He explained that feelings follow thoughts, and thoughts can be consciously directed. This means that emotional mastery begins with mental discipline. By deliberately choosing your focus, you reprogram the emotional patterns that determine your frequency. Let's go deeper. When you focus on what's missing, you vibrate with lack. When you focus on what's present and expanding, you vibrate with abundance. This is not a mental trick. It's a vibrational truth. Every emotion has a frequency. Fear is dense. Doubt vibrates slowly. Gratitude and joy resonate at high frequencies, close to the energy of creation itself. The more you dwell in these elevated states, the faster your manifestations crystallize. Proctor often described this as the law of vibration, the foundation upon which the law of attraction rests. He said, "Everything is energy. Nothing rests. The chair you sit on, the thoughts you think, the money you desire, all are energy in varying states of vibration. When two energies harmonize, attraction occurs. So how do you harmonize with wealth? First, by removing resistance. Resistance is any emotion that contradicts your desire: fear, guilt, shame, or unworthiness. These emotions send mixed signals to the universe. It's like trying to accelerate a car while pressing the brake. You might move, but slowly and painfully. Nightingale and Proctor both taught that self-image is the hidden root of resistance. You can never attract more than your self-concept allows. If you secretly believe you're undeserving, the subconscious will sabotage every attempt to expand. This is not punishment, it's protection. The subconscious is designed to keep you consistent with your identity. So, to attract wealth effortlessly, you must upgrade your self-image. See yourself as prosperous, confident, generous, and powerful. Not as ego, but as divine expression. The moment you shift how you see yourself, your entire energetic blueprint changes. Opportunities that once seemed invisible appear. People respond differently. Circumstances rearrange. You might call this coincidence. But remember, in the language of the spirit, coincidence is simply the universe in perfect coordination. Faith is the amplifier of this process. Nightingale said faith is belief acted upon. Proctor added that faith is a vibration of absolute certainty. Together, they form the engine of manifestation. When your belief and your emotions synchronize, manifestation becomes inevitable. Think of your faith as a frequency stabilizer. The stronger it is, the less external noise can distort your vibration. Without faith, you are easily swayed by appearances. A delayed payment, a rejection, a slow month. These trigger fear. But with faith, you interpret these moments as rearrangements, not rejections. The universe is always rearranging itself in your favor. Sometimes, it must remove certain structures to make space for what's coming. You may lose a job only to discover your true calling. You may face temporary scarcity only to awaken your creative genius. What appears as loss is often a vibrational reset. Earl Nightingale understood this when he said, "Everything that happens to us is the result of what we have been thinking." That includes contrast. When life seems to move backward, it's showing you what still needs alignment. Bob Proctor added, "You are always moving toward or away from something. Your vibration is directional. It's never neutral. Each thought is a steering wheel guiding your future reality. To transcend the frequency of wealth, you must steer consciously. Start by establishing a daily ritual. Every morning, sit in silence. Breathe deeply. Feel your awareness expand beyond your body. Visualize yourself surrounded by radiant golden light, the frequency of abundance. Imagine it pulsating through you, flowing into every aspect of your life. Now, speak affirmations that align with this vision. But don't just say them, embody them. Let each word resonate through your chest. For example, I am a vessel of divine abundance. Money flows to me with ease and purpose. My vibration matches infinite prosperity. Say them until you feel them. Because once your nervous system believes, manifestation becomes inevitable. This is not blind optimism. It's vibrational precision. Wealth is not something you chase. It's something you calibrate. Nightingale's entire message revolved around this truth. The mind is the control center of destiny. When your mind holds a clear image, infused with gratitude and faith, the universe translates it into reality through the law of cause and effect. Proctor brought the spiritual depth. He taught that your thoughts are not isolated. They ripple into the collective field, influencing the flow of energy around you. When you raise your vibration, you raise the vibration of everyone connected to you. This is why spiritual wealth is contagious. When you embody prosperity, others feel it. You inspire without effort. You become a living demonstration of divine law. Transcending the frequency of wealth is not about personal gain. It's about alignment with the infinite. You become a conduit for abundance to circulate through the world. You give freely, receive graciously, and live joyfully. That is the frequency of creation itself, giving and receiving as one continuous breath. So pause for a moment now. Feel the truth in these words. You are not learning to manifest. You are remembering how creation already flows through you. You were born connected to the infinite. You have never been separate. The only illusion was unawareness. As you wake up to your divine nature, the game of chasing wealth ends. The pursuit dissolves, and in its place arises peace. The peace of knowing that everything you desire already exists in your frequency, waiting for your permission to appear. You are the transmitter, the receiver, and the message. Wealth is simply your reflection in motion. There comes a moment in every conscious creator's journey when you realize that manifestation is not about control. It's about connection. It's not about forcing results, but about aligning so perfectly with your spiritual design that reality reshapes itself to fit your vibration. Earl Nightingale explained that every individual lives in two worlds simultaneously, the inner world of thought and the outer world of experience. The outer always mirrors the inner. If you don't like what you see around you, it's not a punishment. It's simply feedback. Proctor took this further by revealing that the feedback is vibrational. You're not attracting what you think you deserve. You're attracting what your energy signals to the universe. The bridge between these two teachings is consciousness, the awareness of what you are broadcasting. You can't change what you're unaware of. That's why manifestation always begins with awakening. When you wake up to your energetic nature, you stop seeing money as paper or numbers. You start to perceive it as a manifestation of energy, the tangible expression of invisible frequencies. Everything in the physical world, from gold to electricity to your heartbeat, is energy moving at different rates of vibration. Nightingale's wisdom anchors this concept. He taught that clarity of purpose focuses the mind like a laser. When your purpose is clear, your energy organizes around it. That's why people with a sense of mission seem magnetic. They are aligned with a single, unwavering frequency. Proctor explained that your purpose connects you to infinite intelligence, the field that contains all potential. This is what modern physics calls the quantum field. It's an ocean of energy, infinitely intelligent and responsive. Every thought and emotion you project becomes a command to this field. Here's the hidden truth. You are not separate from the quantum field. You are a localized expression of it. You and the universe are two waves of the same ocean, playing different melodies in the same divine song. When you grasp this, you stop begging the universe for things and start co-creating with it consciously. Faith becomes your creative power. Faith is not hoping something will happen. It's knowing that it already has. It's the recognition that in the invisible realm, all things exist now. Nightingale called faith the key to the mind's treasure house. He understood that belief shapes perception, and perception shapes experience. When you choose to believe in abundance, your brain filters reality to reveal it. When you expect opportunities, your consciousness tunes itself to notice them. Bob Proctor would remind his students that faith is a vibration, a frequency of certainty. You can't fake it. The universe reads the energy behind your words. Saying, "I'm wealthy," while feeling fear or lack sends a scrambled signal. The law responds to vibration, not vocabulary. To align faith with vibration, you must merge thought and emotion into harmony. Thought gives direction. Emotion gives life. When the two become one, creation manifests. This union is the essence of prayer, not as a plea, but as communion. True prayer is not asking, it's attuning. When you pray from gratitude instead of desperation, you match the vibration of answered prayer. The universe responds instantly, not because it is persuaded, but because it recognizes resonance. Everything in existence operates through resonance. Two tuning forks of the same frequency vibrate together even across distance. Your mind and the universe function the same way. The law of attraction is really the law of resonance. You don't pull things toward you, you harmonize with them. When you raise your vibration, your reality must shift to match. It's not optional, it's law. Now, how do you sustain this elevated vibration long enough for manifestation to become natural? The secret is embodied consistency. Nightingale taught that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Progressive means continuous, daily, deliberate, faithful. The mind must be trained to hold a single image until the subconscious accepts it as fact. Proctor revealed the emotional side of this discipline, repetition with feeling. When you combine intellectual understanding with emotional conviction, the subconscious reprograms itself. Your old paradigms dissolve, your new frequency stabilizes. Let's practice this. Close your eyes. Imagine a version of yourself living in effortless abundance. You wake up inspired, your heart peaceful, your mind calm. Money flows through your life with purpose and ease. You give generously, create joyfully, and trust completely. Now breathe deeply and feel this vision in your body. Feel the warmth in your chest as gratitude rises. Let it expand until you sense your entire field glowing with golden light. Stay there. Let this feeling imprint itself. This is how you rewire your vibration, through repetition of feeling, not force of will. When you vibrate from joy, you magnetize solutions instead of problems. People sense your energy and want to help you. Circumstances align. Even obstacles transform into opportunities. This is not superstition. It's energetic mechanics. The universe mirrors the coherence of your field. A coherent field, where thoughts, emotions, and spirit are in alignment, becomes a beacon for abundance. Nightingale's structured approach teaches you to focus your mind. Proctor's spiritual wisdom teaches you to elevate your energy. Together, they create the formula for true manifestation. Clarity of thought plus purity of vibration equals inevitability of creation. Wealth, then, is not an achievement. It's a consequence. It's the visible shadow of invisible alignment. You never get rich. You become rich in consciousness, and then reality adjusts itself. This understanding dissolves guilt around money. Guilt implies separation from source, as if wealth were selfish. But the spiritual truth is that wealth amplifies what already exists in your consciousness. If you are loving, generous, and aligned, money expands your ability to serve and uplift. Proctor would say, money is neither good nor bad. It's a tool. It magnifies who you are. So if you want to change your financial reality, don't chase money. Elevate who you are. Let's take this further. The energy of wealth corresponds to expansion. Everything in nature expands. Flowers bloom, rivers flow, stars radiate. The universe is in constant motion toward greater expression. When you align with that expansion, abundance flows naturally. But when you resist growth through fear, comfort, or doubt, you constrict your channel. Energy stagnates. That's when people say, things aren't working. The truth is, they stopped flowing. Nightingale often reminded his listeners that stagnation is the opposite of success. Life demands forward motion. Even faith, to remain alive, must expand. The same applies to gratitude. You can't just feel grateful once and expect continuous flow. Gratitude must become your energetic baseline, your frequency home. When you live in gratitude, you are perpetually tuned to the vibration of abundance. Proctor beautifully explained that gratitude connects the physical and spiritual planes. It's the bridge between cause and effect. When you feel grateful before receiving, you collapse the time gap between intention and manifestation. You're signaling the field. It is already done. Now, imagine operating from that consciousness every day. You wake up and immediately think, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to expand. Thank you for the abundance that flows to me effortlessly. That mindset doesn't just change your day. It changes your frequency. It lifts your vibration above doubt, above fear, above lack. The longer you sustain this state, the more evidence you'll see. The field always reflects the dominant frequency. When gratitude becomes dominant, abundance becomes visible. Faith, gratitude, and purpose. These are the spiritual triad of manifestation. Faith activates potential. Gratitude amplifies energy. Purpose directs it. This is the holy geometry of wealth, the three pillars that stabilize the vibration of prosperity. When you operate from all three, manifestation accelerates beyond effort. You no longer struggle to make things happen. You flow with divine timing. The right ideas, people, and resources arrive in harmony. Earl Nightingale represented the divine masculine energy, structure, reason, focus. Bob Proctor embodied the divine spiritual current, vibration, flow, and expansion. When these merge in you, you become the complete creator, both architect and channel. You think deliberately and feel expansively. You command with your mind and create with your spirit. You embody abundance as both principle and presence. This is transcendence. When you live in this state, wealth becomes effortless. You don't attract it, you emanate it. The universe, being a perfect mirror, must reflect it. People call it magic. You call it law. And so the greatest secret is revealed. The spiritual path to wealth is not about getting more. It's about becoming more conscious of what you already are. You are the field. You are the frequency. You are the manifestation. Once you know this, your relationship with reality changes forever. You no longer see lack, only potential. No longer chase outcomes, only embody truth. That is how you transcend the frequency of wealth, by realizing you are the wealth. The moment you understand that wealth is not a personal possession, but a divine current, your entire relationship with money changes. You stop chasing it and start channeling it. You realize that abundance was never meant to be hoarded. It was meant to flow. Earl Nightingale often said, "We become what we think about." But when you pair that with Bob Proctor's insight, wealth flows to those who understand its spiritual nature. You discover the alchemy of creation itself. You become what you think about, and you attract what you radiate. Every thought is a command. Every emotion is an amplifier. Together, they form the energetic architecture of your reality. Now, let's go deeper, far beyond the surface of positive thinking and into the sacred essence of creative consciousness. When you set an intention, say, to attract more money, freedom, or opportunities, you ignite a spark in the quantum field. That spark is your soul's signature declaring, "I am ready to expand." The universe doesn't hear words. It hears vibration. It doesn't respond to begging or hoping. It responds to certainty, gratitude, and divine alignment. This is why so many people struggle with manifestation. They think the law of attraction is about visualizing harder, saying affirmations louder, or repeating mantras endlessly. But the real secret is vibrational integrity. You cannot attract abundance from a frequency of lack. You cannot receive expansion while resisting growth. You cannot embody wealth while believing you are unworthy of it. The first spiritual law of prosperity is worthiness. Nightingale described it as the self-image of success. Proctor called it the paradigm of abundance. Both were pointing to the same truth, that your outer life will never exceed your inner blueprint. If you secretly believe that abundance belongs to others, or that being rich conflicts with being spiritual, you unconsciously reject the flow of wealth. The universe respects your vibration more than your words. That's why true manifestation begins with inner reconciliation, healing the split between spirit and success. Money, when viewed spiritually, is divine energy in motion. It is neither sacred nor profane. It simply magnifies the consciousness through which it flows. When you align your vibration with gratitude and purpose, money becomes a tool of light. It allows you to express your gifts, uplift others, and expand love through the material plane. Bob Proctor often said, "Money is good because it lets you do good." And Nightingale echoed the sentiment. Your rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to your contribution. This is cosmic balance, the law of giving and receiving. To receive abundantly, you must first become a giver energetically. But this giving is not about sacrifice. It's about expansion. When you serve from love, your field expands. When your field expands, it becomes magnetic. And when it becomes magnetic, wealth flows toward it naturally, without strain. It's not karma, it's physics. Every act of genuine service creates a ripple in the quantum field, an energetic echo that multiplies and returns. This is why some people seem to receive blessings effortlessly. They've entered the rhythm of universal reciprocity. They give without expectation, and the universe responds without hesitation. But you cannot fake this energy. You cannot pretend to serve while secretly expecting reward. The universe measures the vibration, not the performance. True service is pure alignment, your soul expressing itself freely. When you live this way, wealth becomes a natural companion, not a pursuit. It follows purpose like a shadow follows light. Let's explore the energetic anatomy of this process. Your consciousness operates through three primary centers. The mind, where thought and intention are born. The heart, where emotion and vibration are generated. The spirit, where alignment and guidance flow. When these three are in harmony, your entire being resonates with coherence. Coherence is the signal that the universe recognizes. Nightingale's structured thinking helps the mind focus on purpose. Proctor's spiritual teachings awaken the heart and spirit. The union of both creates vibrational clarity, the exact frequency of manifestation. Imagine your life as a radio. Each goal, each dream, each desired reality vibrates at a specific frequency. If your mind is on the right station, but your heart is broadcasting static, fear, doubt, guilt, you can't receive the signal. Alignment is tuning all parts of yourself to the same vibration. That's why gratitude, faith, and purpose are the tuning dials of creation. Faith keeps the mind aligned with possibility. Gratitude keeps the heart aligned with love. Purpose keeps the spirit aligned with truth. Together, they generate coherence, and coherence commands reality. When your energy field becomes coherent, time itself bends to serve your creation. The right circumstances emerge miraculously. The right people appear. The right ideas flow effortlessly. You begin to experience what mystics call synchronicity. Synchronicity is not luck. It's divine alignment materialized. Nightingale described it as the strange secret of success. Proctor saw it as vibration responding to vibration. Modern quantum physics calls it entanglement. Different languages, same truth. The inner and outer worlds are one. So how do you enter this field deliberately? Start with inner stillness. You cannot hear divine guidance over the noise of worry or doubt. Silence is not emptiness. It is access. It connects you to the infinite mind. Each morning, before the world awakens, sit quietly and align your energy. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Feel gratitude for what already exists, your breath, your heartbeat, your potential. Then declare your intention. I am a channel of abundance, guided by divine intelligence. Money flows to me with ease because I use it to expand light. This statement is not superstition. It's vibrational calibration. It tells your subconscious and the universe exactly who you are becoming. And as you repeat it with feeling, day after day, your subconscious rewires itself. You begin to act, think, and feel from that new frequency. That's when your outer world starts rearranging. This is why Nightingale emphasized progressive realization, small, daily alignment, and Proctor insisted on repetition with emotion. Together, they form the formula for transformation. Now, let's address the shadow side of manifestation. The fear of failure, the resistance that whispers, what if it doesn't work? That fear is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It reveals the boundary of your current paradigm. Every time you face that fear with awareness instead of avoidance, you expand your capacity to hold more energy. Fear is simply energy moving through the lower vibration of uncertainty. When you bring love and faith into it, it transforms into fuel for your next level. Proctor often said, "Your results will always tell the truth." Nightingale would add, "Change your thoughts, and your world will change." Combined, they are saying, if something isn't flowing, look within. Adjust the frequency, not the goal. You never manifest by force. You manifest by frequency. The more relaxed and aligned you become, the faster results appear. Because relaxation is trust. And trust is the ultimate magnetic state. Now imagine this. You living from unwavering trust. You wake up each day knowing that everything unfolding is for your expansion. You no longer question timing, outcomes, or worthiness. You simply flow. That's when you transcend the beginner's level of manifestation and enter the realm of conscious co-creation. You stop trying to manifest things and begin manifesting states of being. Instead of asking, "How do I get money?" you ask, "How can I expand love through me today?" And the paradox, the beautiful divine paradox, is that the more you focus on expanding love, the more material abundance flows in. Because love is the highest vibration in the universe. It contains within it the frequency of wealth, success, and fulfillment. This is why true abundance is always spiritual first, material second. When your vibration aligns with love, wealth becomes your natural reflection. Let's look at the quantum side for a moment. Every atom in your body vibrates with electrical energy. This energy is not random, it's intelligent. It responds to your thoughts, emotions, and expectations. When you hold an image of prosperity with gratitude, you are instructing trillions of atoms to reorganize around that frequency. The universe listens through resonance. That is the true alchemy, transforming invisible thought into tangible experience through emotional coherence and spiritual purpose. Now let's take this understanding to a higher octave, the realm of infinite service. At the soul level, you came to Earth not just to acquire wealth, but to channel it for the evolution of consciousness. When you use your prosperity to uplift others, teach, heal, or inspire, you align your personal frequency with the universal current of expansion. That's when your manifestation power becomes unstoppable. Because you're no longer creating for ego, you're creating for evolution. The universe loves expansion that serves the collective. It rushes to support those who expand life. Nightingale captured this in his principle of goal alignment with purpose. Proctor expressed it through the law of compensation. Both reveal this truth. When your intention blesses others, abundance multiplies exponentially. You see, the secret to receiving more is not demanding more. It's becoming more. Be more love. Be more gratitude. Be more light. And the universe will match you frequency for frequency. Your life will begin to move with divine rhythm. Effortless, elegant, abundant. You'll notice that what once required struggle now flows with ease. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. People call it luck, but you'll know it's alignment. You've entered the rhythm of the infinite, the dance between the human mind and the divine spirit. This is where Nightingale and Proctor ultimately meet, where thought becomes vibration and vibration becomes creation. You think it, you feel it, you become it, and so it manifests. That is the unbreakable law of the spiritual universe. When you truly understand that scarcity is not a condition of the external world, but a frequency within the mind, everything changes. Scarcity has no power of its own. It only exists when believed in. The moment you stop feeding it with fear, it dissolves like a shadow under light. This is where the teachings of Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor reach their highest harmony. Nightingale taught that our minds are fertile fields. They do not care what we plant. Whether it's seeds of prosperity or seeds of limitation, the soil of the mind will grow whatever we nurture. Proctor took this further. He said that every thought carries a vibration, and every vibration magnetizes circumstances that match it. Together, their message is simple but life-altering. You are the transmitter and receiver of your reality. Let's dive deeper. If you want to manifest abundance, you must stop identifying with lack. The most common mistake people make is trying to attract wealth while still vibrating in the energy of not enough. You can't radiate lack and receive prosperity. It's a frequency mismatch. Think of your mind as a tuning fork. When you vibrate with fear, you attract experiences that echo fear. When you vibrate with gratitude, you attract experiences that echo abundance. The universe mirrors your dominant vibration, not your spoken desires. That's why affirmations alone rarely work if the energy behind them is doubt. You can't say, "I am rich," while feeling desperate for money. The subconscious mind rejects the contradiction. Instead, you must become the energy of abundance first. This is what Proctor meant when he said, "If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand." He wasn't talking about mental images alone. He meant embodying the frequency of what you desire until reality has no choice but to reflect it. So how do we embody the frequency of abundance? It begins with awareness. Notice the subtle ways scarcity hides in your thoughts. It might sound like, "I can't afford that. I'm afraid there won't be enough. I need more to feel secure." Every one of those thoughts carries the vibration of lack. You don't need to fight them. Fighting reinforces their energy. You simply witness them, breathe through them, and replace them with higher truths. Try saying instead, "Money flows freely and easily to me. I am always supported by divine abundance. Every day, I become a clearer channel for prosperity." Each time you do this consciously, you reprogram your subconscious and recalibrate your vibration. You're literally shifting your energetic field from scarcity to expansion. Nightingale's wisdom on goal setting supports this process beautifully. He said, "People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. When your goals are aligned with faith and gratitude, they become magnets for opportunity. But when they're infused with desperation, they repel abundance." The key is energetic neutrality. You must want your goal without needing it. You must desire wealth without being dependent on it for your self-worth. The moment you release attachment, your energy becomes clean, and the universe can finally deliver. Attachment is energetic resistance disguised as ambition. Detachment is trust in divine timing. Proctor often said, "Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you can't see. Choose wisely, so choose faith." Faith is not passive, it's the active vibration of trust. When you trust that the universe is abundant, you move through life differently. You take inspired action instead of desperate action. You make decisions from love, not from fear. You become magnetic. Now, let's go deeper into the spiritual mechanics of this transformation. At the core of your being, you are pure consciousness, infinite, formless, divine. This consciousness expresses through energy, and energy expresses through matter. Everything you can see, touch, or hold was once invisible vibration. That means money, opportunities, relationships. They are all energetic extensions of consciousness. When you align your inner vibration with divine abundance, the material world rearranges itself around you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You allow it. Allowance is the most powerful state of creation. It is surrender without passivity. It's conscious partnership with the infinite. Nightingale called this letting the river flow. Proctor described it as living in harmony with the law. Both were pointing to the same truth, that life was never meant to be a struggle against itself. When you stop fighting for abundance and start vibrating as abundance, everything shifts. Money begins to show up in unexpected ways. Ideas flow easily. The right people appear at perfect timing. You begin to live in the rhythm of synchronicity, where every step feels guided. This is not fantasy, it's quantum physics. Your brain emits electromagnetic frequencies that interact with the quantum field. Those frequencies draw experiences that match their vibration. When you dwell in gratitude, confidence, and joy, your field becomes radiant and reality responds accordingly. In contrast, when you dwell in fear, self-doubt, or resentment, your field contracts. Opportunities close. Energy stagnates. You don't need to fix the world. You need to expand your vibration. Every time you choose gratitude over fear, you shift your frequency upward. Every time you give generously, you tell the universe, I trust that more is coming. That trust multiplies. Generosity is the proof of abundance. This is why giving, not just money, but time, kindness, and love, is one of the highest spiritual practices. It signals that you know the source of your supply is infinite. And here's the paradox. When you give from fullness, you receive more. When you give from emptiness, you drain yourself. The difference is vibration. If you give because you fear losing, you stay in lack. If you give because you know you can't lose, you expand infinitely. That's the vibration of mastery. Let's imagine this in action. Picture yourself as an instrument of divine abundance. Every thought of gratitude tunes you higher. Every act of love increases your resonance. Every moment of trust amplifies your field. Soon, your entire presence becomes magnetic to prosperity. You no longer attract wealth, you emanate it. When you walk into a room, opportunities notice you. When you speak, people listen differently. It's not charisma, it's coherence. Your energy is in harmony with divine order. This is what Earl Nightingale meant by the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And this is what Bob Proctor meant by living from the inside out. Your inner state becomes your outer story. So, let's speak of money as spiritual energy again, because this truth must be deeply understood. Money doesn't respond to need. It responds to consciousness. It doesn't flow to the deserving. It flows to the aligned. It doesn't come to those who beg for it. It comes to those who vibrate as though they already have it. If you can feel abundant now, before anything changes, you will open the gates for abundance to enter. Proctor would often say, you have to see yourself already in possession of what you desire. This seeing is not imagination. It's vibrational rehearsal. Every day, before you start your work, visualize yourself as already abundant, calm, confident, generous, radiant. Feel it in your body. Let that feeling expand through your chest. Hold it until it becomes natural. That feeling is your manifestation code. When you carry that energy into your day, the universe mirrors it back through experiences, opportunities, and people who match your frequency. It may not happen overnight, but once you're aligned, it becomes inevitable. Now, let's address a crucial part: resistance. Resistance is simply the energy of doubt colliding with your desire. It's the voice that says, maybe it's not possible, or who am I to have this? When resistance arises, don't fight it. Breathe into it. Acknowledge it with compassion. Then remind yourself, this is an old vibration leaving my field. I am safe to receive. Each time you do this, resistance loses power. What once blocked your manifestation becomes fuel for your expansion. This is spiritual transmutation, turning fear into faith, turning doubt into power. Every master of manifestation, from ancient mystics to modern teachers, understood this alchemy. It's what Nightingale meant by mind mastery. It's what Proctor embodied as vibration elevation. The two teachings are not separate. They are the masculine and feminine aspects of creation. The structure of thought, mind, and the flow of spirit, energy. Together, they create coherent creation. And when you live in this coherence, your life becomes a continuous expression of divine abundance. You no longer think about manifesting because you are manifestation itself. You live in a state of effortless receiving. You speak, and creation responds. You intend, and the field rearranges. You give thanks, and life multiplies blessings. That's the vibration of a conscious creator. So as you move forward, remember this. You are not chasing money. You are expanding consciousness. You are not building wealth. You are embodying divine flow. You are not waiting for miracles. You are the miracle in motion. When this realization becomes real for you, when it's no longer just an idea but a felt truth in your being, the world will change around you. Fast, profoundly, irreversibly. That's the frequency where Nightingale's logic meets Proctor's spirit, where discipline meets divinity, and where your life becomes the perfect reflection of the infinite mind expressing through you. There comes a moment when the seekers stop seeking, not because they gave up, but because they finally realized that what they were looking for was never outside of them. This is the instant of true ascension, the moment when consciousness awakens to its own divine nature. Earl Nightingale called this the awakening of conscious purpose. Bob Proctor referred to it as the soul's quantum leap. Both were speaking of the same phenomenon, the point at which a human being stops being a victim of circumstances and assumes their place as a co-creator of the universe. You are not a body struggling to survive in a scarce world. You are a spark of infinity, operating through a body, projecting a reality shaped by your mental and spiritual states. When you understand this, not just intellectually, but vibrationally, struggle ceases. You stop trying to force the universe to give you what you want, and you begin to vibrate in harmony with what you already are. This is the highest form of manifestation. Effortless creation, abundance without struggle. Nightingale said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." But what he really meant was that success is the process of becoming aware of your own divine nature. It is when the worthy ideal stops being an external goal and becomes the state of being itself. Bob Proctor taught something complementary. The only difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who don't is the paradigm that governs the mind. A paradigm is a vibrational framework, a set of beliefs and emotions that defines the limits of what you believe is possible. As long as the paradigm is one of scarcity, the world will reflect scarcity. But when the paradigm expands to the consciousness of infinite abundance, the world changes because the vibration changes. The spiritual truth is simple. You never attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are, at this very moment, is a constantly emitting vibrational field. Every thought is a frequency. Every emotion is a wave. Every belief is an energetic command to the universe. Imagine the universe as a liquid mirror. It does not judge, filter, or choose. It simply reflects what you vibrate. If you vibrate lack, it shows lack. If you vibrate gratitude, it shows fullness. If you vibrate trust, it opens pathways. And here's the secret Bob and Earl always knew. You don't need to change the mirror. You only need to change what you emit. The mirror of the world is neutral. The reflection is inevitable, but the vibration is your choice. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the air enter. Notice that even the air you breathe is abundance. It is everywhere, ready to be received, unlimited, free. So it is also with the flow of spiritual prosperity. You don't need to chase it. You only need to open yourself to receive it. Proctor said that consciousness is the only creative reality. And that means your consciousness of abundance is the channel through which money, ideas, and opportunities flow. But attention, this is not about superficial positive thinking. It's about being positive in vibrational essence. Think about it. You can repeat, "I am rich," 1,000 times. But if inside you vibrates the fear of lack, the dominant vibration is still scarcity. The universe responds to the dominant vibration, not the words. That's why true transformation begins with feeling. Before manifesting, you must embody the feeling of what you desire. Want to attract wealth? Feel rich now. Not tomorrow, not when the money arrives, now. Feel the peace of one who's already prosperous. Feel the confidence of one who is already secure. Feel the gratitude of one who has already received. This is the quantum point where the invisible begins to become visible. Energy follows consciousness, and matter follows energy. You don't create the future. You tune into the future. The future is not a distant time. It is a frequency that already exists, and you access this frequency through vibration. That's why time seems to accelerate when you are in harmony. You think, feel, act, and things happen almost instantly, because there is no resistance between desire and reality. This absence of resistance is what the masters call the state of unity. When you are not separate from what you want, the universe doesn't need to bring anything to you. You are already vibrating as the result itself. You and the desire are one energy field. And this, in essence, is the true secret of the law of attraction. It's not just thinking. It's merging with the vibrational state of what you desire. Earl Nightingale deeply understood this principle when he wrote The Strangest Secret. He said that the strangest secret was precisely this: we become what we think. But what he meant by think was not just rationalize. He spoke of thought imbued with feeling, living, energetic, creative thought. Thought that carries emotion and faith. This type of thought is a spiritual seed. And when you plant it repeatedly in your subconscious, it transforms into physical reality. Bob Proctor translated this practically. The vibration you maintain determines what you attract. In other words, it's not what you want, it's what you emanate. You cannot cheat vibration. It is pure, exact, mathematical. And that's why spirituality and wealth are not opposites. They are expressions of the same creative force, a neutral force that only responds to the direction of consciousness. The rich soul is not the one who accumulates, but the one who emanates. It understands that money is just a form of divine energy circulating in the material plane. Nightingale said money is the reward for service rendered. But spiritually, it is even more. It is the reflection of the energetic contribution you offer to the world. The more value you radiate, the more energy returns to you, because the universe is self-referential. It returns everything you emit. Thus, the path to abundance is in reality the path of service. But service with elevated consciousness, not from lack, but from fullness. Proctor said that when you help someone grow, you grow as well, because growth is a contagious vibration, and the universe amplifies that which generates expansion. So if you desire more prosperity, become a source of expansion for others. Bring light, clarity, inspiration, solutions. The energy you give converts back into prosperity, multiplied. This is divine mathematics. To give is to multiply. But there is an even higher point, the point where the divine self completely unites with the creative mind. This is the state of Christ consciousness, the point of non-duality. Here, the self and the universe cease to be opposites and become the same vibrational pulse. When this happens, manifestation ceases to be a process. It becomes the very breath of the soul. You think, and the universe thinks with you. You desire, and the field responds instantly. You feel, and matter reorganizes in coherence with the feeling. This is the level where miracles are natural, where wealth and spirituality are one, divine energy in expression. This is the final message that unites Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor. The mind is the temple. Thought is the prayer. Vibration is the language of God, and each of us is the priest of our own creative field. So now, close your eyes and imagine a golden light in your chest. This light is the center of divine consciousness. It pulses, expands, vibrates. Every beat is a silent affirmation. I am abundance. I am flow. I am creation. This light grows until it envelops your entire body. You feel the warmth of pure energy, alive, loving, infinite. It rises through your mind and connects with the universal field. Now, there is no separation between you and the all. You are the all experiencing itself in human form. And in this instant, everything you desire is already done. Because in the field of consciousness, nothing is lacking. The vibration of I am contains all possibilities. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to convince. Just remember and remain in the vibrational state of what already is. This is the true gold of Nightingale and Proctor's teachings. Wealth is a spiritual expression of awakened consciousness. When you vibrate in this consciousness, money becomes only a messenger of the energy that is already yours. It is not the goal, it is the consequence. And the more aligned you are with the divine flow, the more the universe can trust you as a channel of this energy. Abundance is not earned, it is allowed. And allowing is the most sacred act of the conscious creator. So the next time you look at the sky and see the vastness, remember, the same vastness lives within you. You are the vibrational extension of infinity in human form. And when you live in this remembrance, money flows, doors open, miracles become routine. Because the universe doesn't respond to those who ask. It responds to those who remember. Remember who you are. Remember the power you carry. Remember that you were born rich. And this, as Nightingale would say, is the strangest and most beautiful secret of all. When you finally transcend the illusion of separation between yourself and wealth, between mind and spirit, between action and attraction, you begin to live in a completely new dimension of consciousness. Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor both described this transformation not as a sudden miracle, but as a process of spiritual alignment. You are no longer chasing wealth. You are channeling it. You are no longer working for money. Money begins to work for you through the energy that flows from your elevated state of awareness. The moment you realize that abundance has always existed within you, the external world rearranges itself to match that recognition. This is the true meaning of transcendence. You have not earned wealth through effort. You have allowed it through vibration. The law responds not to your wishes, but to your frequency. Earl Nightingale said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." The key word there is realization. To realize something means to make it real, to bring it from thought into form. Bob Proctor took this concept further by explaining that realization is not a mental exercise. It's a spiritual act. You must first become the frequency of the thing you desire. You must feel the wealth before you see the wealth. You must vibrate abundance before it materializes. And here is the paradox most people miss. The moment you stop chasing, you start receiving. Because chasing affirms that what you want is missing, while gratitude affirms that it's already here. The universe mirrors your emotional state with perfect precision. If you feel abundant now, abundance expands. If you feel poor now, poverty multiplies. You are never being punished or rewarded. You are being reflected. Nightingale believed that the greatest discovery of his generation was that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. That idea alone can change the course of your destiny. The attitude of mind he spoke of is more than optimism. It's energetic alignment. It's waking up each day knowing that your thoughts create, your feelings amplify, and your faith directs the current of reality itself. Wealth, therefore, becomes a spiritual discipline. To live richly is to live consciously, to remain aware of the vibration you are sending. Bob Proctor used to say, "If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand." But he also added, "If you can hold it in your heart, it's already yours." Because the heart is the magnetic field that communicates directly with the universe. The mind sends signals. The heart sends commands. Think of your life as an orchestra. Your thoughts are the notes, your emotions the melody, and your spirit the conductor. When all three are in harmony, the music of your life becomes abundance itself. But when one is out of tune, when your thoughts contradict your feelings, or your spirit is drowned by fear, the symphony falters. You cannot attract wealth from a frequency of discord. You must first tune your inner vibration to the rhythm of prosperity. This tuning requires awareness. Each time you feel fear about money, pause and breathe. Don't resist the fear. Transmute it. Ask yourself, what is this emotion showing me about my belief in scarcity? Then replace the fear with gratitude. Gratitude is the master frequency, the spiritual solvent that dissolves all resistance. The instant you give thanks for what already is, you open the door for more to come. Nightingale called gratitude the seed of faith. Proctor called it the vibration that connects us to God. Both understood that gratitude transforms your energy faster than any external method. It shifts your point of attraction immediately because it changes your focus from lack to sufficiency, from need to completion. When you practice this daily, gratitude in the morning, gratitude before sleep, gratitude for every small miracle, your frequency stabilizes at a higher level. You begin to attract effortlessly. People appear with opportunities. Synchronicities multiply. Even challenges start working in your favor, teaching you lessons that refine your vibration even further. In this state, manifestation becomes natural. You are no longer doing the law of attraction. You are being it. You've integrated it so deeply that your life itself becomes a demonstration of universal law. You are both student and example, observer and creator. And something deeper happens here. Wealth stops being the focus, and growth becomes the priority. Because the ultimate purpose of abundance is evolution. You attract money so that you can expand your consciousness, express your potential, and contribute to the expansion of others. Wealth is never the destination. It's a vehicle for spiritual expression. This is the level of mastery Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor lived from. Their lives were proof that material success can coexist with spiritual depth. They did not separate the two. They united them. Nightingale provided the intellectual structure, the disciplined philosophy of thought. Proctor added the spiritual vibration, the heart-centered energy of belief. Together, they created a complete system for mastering both the physical and metaphysical realms of wealth. You can do the same. You can bridge the worlds of mind and spirit until they become one. You can learn to walk in faith, act in confidence, and radiate abundance without ever forcing it. That is the essence of true manifestation, effortless flow born from spiritual certainty. When you master this, you realize something profound. You are not attracting wealth. Wealth is attracted to you. You have become a magnet of divine energy, a vessel of universal prosperity. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every emotion you feel ripples through the quantum field, rearranging reality in your favor. At this level of consciousness, time bends. Manifestations appear faster because you are no longer waiting, you are aligned. And alignment collapses time. What once took years can unfold in weeks. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. But remember, this power is not about greed. It's about harmony. True wealth flows through those who are connected to Source, not those who hoard it. The universe rewards expansion, generosity, and joy. When your wealth uplifts others, it multiplies. When it serves love, it grows endlessly. Bob Proctor used to smile and say, "You can't outgive the universe." The more you give in vibration, gratitude, kindness, love, value, the more the universe returns, always multiplied. Because giving and receiving are not opposites. They are the same motion of energy, flowing in and out of you in perfect balance. So as you close your eyes tonight, feel that energy moving through you. Feel yourself as the conduit of divine abundance. You are not separate from wealth. You are the source through which it expresses itself. And when you wake tomorrow, don't ask, "Where is my abundance?" Instead, declare, "I am abundance. I am wealth. I am the frequency that manifests miracles." Because in truth, that's what you've always been. An extension of infinite intelligence, capable of transforming thought into matter, vibration into form, and dreams into reality. You were never meant to chase money. You were meant to remember who you are, the consciousness that commands energy, the soul that shapes universes. That is the secret behind the secret, the final revelation that both Nightingale and Proctor pointed toward their entire lives. The power is not in the words you speak or the books you read. The power is in the vibration you hold. Hold it high, hold it steady, hold it with faith. And then, simply watch. Because when your spirit vibrates in harmony with wealth, the universe has no choice but to respond.